Merch alert.
That's right, you heard her. We have merch now. If you're looking for a mug, a hoodie, a shirt, a blanket, we're your people. Be sure to check out our exclusive I Was a Bravo Fan Before Scandal tees. They will be perfect to wear while watching the VPR reunion.
Check out the link in the description of the podcast or our Instagram bio. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Bravo. We're Black, and this is the Bravo episode, and baby, are we getting fed. And we are still about to be fed because we have premiere dates, we have trailers, we have receipts, print timeline, everything. So let's jump right in. Obviously, married to mother effing medicine. We got doctors and dentists and doctors' wives and Contessa. What is up with Married to Medicine, Aaron?
What did Simone say at the beginning of the trailer? This is the first. What we have doctors was ain't doctors was here. The sandbar.
Doctors on this island, the
sandbar. Like it sounded like a civil rights movement. And that's what I love the most about Married to Medicine. Like it comes back so strong. It's like this is history. This is a part of our history. This is Black. And I was just so excited. Just so y'all know, because I might slip up and forget to tell y'all, but it premieres Sunday, with November 24th at 9 p.m. Eastern. So guys, be in front of the TV. But I have a lot to say about this trailer. First off, I'm so happy to see that Dr. Contessa is back. I'm not going to say Contessa.
You always say Contessa.
I'm not going to say Contessa.
That's the crazy part about it.
I'm not this season because she's very serious. The only thing with Dr. Contessa is I don't really see Scott. Like I see him, but I don't know if maybe he is taking because I heard that she's coming on with Scott. And I know that they're still together, but I'm like, maybe he just wants to take a step back.
What it might be is I think Contessa is a friend of, isn't she?
Yeah, she's a friend of.
So if she's a friend of, I don't think that we might, like in the trailer at least, I don't think we'll focus on Dr. Scott Metcalf.
And you know what's so crazy too? Heavenly said recently, Dr. Heavenly, when she was on, I think it was a YouTube, but she was like, I think that Dr. Contessa should have actually been full-time, and I agree. Especially now that I see how things played out. But I do believe Phaedra heading over to Housewives of Atlanta will open a slot up for her to come back full-time next season, because even when I'm looking at this trailer, it's all Contessa. Contessa is beefing with Heavenly. Contessa is fighting with Heavenly. Contessa is putting people in check. She's serving bodies. She's giving looks. Like, it's a lot going on. We're also seeing Quad come back, and we've been looking forward to that. And
her man.
And they look so good together. Like, I've been seeing them on Snapchat because I follow Quad on Snapchat. But just seeing them on the show, and I guess being introduced to him like properly for the first time, it's kind of crazy to me.
Yeah, it was definitely not a jump scare. I need a better word than a jump scare. But it was definitely like, oh, this is the guy who has Quad's heart. And this is someone that she's not just like casually dating. This is someone that I hear that she's very serious with.
Like going out, hanging out, fleeing, going across country. I want to say they went to Paris. They were like partying in Paris.
Traveling.
And I was like, what?
Life.
Like, yeah, like this is serious. And it's not that I didn't expect to see Quad move on at some point, but I think when you watch Married to Medicine like me, like I binge watch Married to Medicine every other month.
You really do.
Like really if I don't have nothing to watch, I will turn on Married to Medicine really quick and find a good season. So I think going from that and seeing her now with this guy, and it's like serious. Unlike some other people.
There's always like, chatter that Quad is dating this African, right? That's what they love. Mm-hmm. With the Atlanta ladies, it's always some African. And that's like, they love him in Atlanta. And Understand that,
Mm-hmm.
especially the ones that get money, like
I get you.
absolutely. But we never really had like that solid proof that it is real and it's a relationship. I'm so glad Quad is back. She is clearly full
Yeah.
time. She has a storyline. She is going to be, center. What is it? Center stethoscope. I don't
Yeah,
know. What do they
center.
hold?
She's in the center. I don't think they hold anything. I think they just put their hands on their hips.
And that's enough.
Yeah, and
Period.
that's enough.
Center
But
hip bone.
I'm happy to see that she's back and she's in the center. She definitely deserves it. I would say her and Contessa, from what I'm seeing in this trailer, equally. And Heavenly should be in the back with her hands on her hips because she plays the biggest part because she's messy, very
Get
messy.
into the. You know what? There wasn't a lot of Toya in this trailer, was there?
No, no, not a lot of Toya, not a lot of Dr. Eugene either. So I was just like, where are the husbands? Like, I think that they were trying to focus on the mess. That's what I'm getting from this trailer. Like, they're showing you that Quad has a new man. They're showing you that Phaedra has a man. They're showing you that this man, from what I hear, might be one of Apollo's friends. So I'm hearing that's what really happens. That's what really goes down once they get there. Like, I don't know if you noticed in the trailer, Phaedra kind of jumps up like when she sees Apollo coming. So I'm like, is
She was
that
she was giving
is
Brittany.
that what it is? Because I'm like, that's messy, but
They
I
just
want
did
to
it on
see it.
Salt Lake City, so I can't say that they being
But I'm like,
racist
at
or
least you would
prejudiced.
come out. Like, I don't know if it's gonna be one of those situations where she just gets caught in the act, or if she like comes clean and tells him in advance, so he already knows this. But apparently,
It's so good.
Shireen and Phaedra get into it real bad too, because we see her leave. I don't know if they were on a yacht. They're always on a boat, but we see Phaedra leave the boat and tell Dr. Jackie, "I'm not the one."
All I know is I want to see Phaedra leave that boat and step on land, and the, I
Had
want
like
that's
literally
I
on a plane
want
to
Real Housewives of
Atlanta.
Atlanta to start immediately after, like Vanderpump Rules, Beverly Hills, and the Vanderpump Rules. I want her to leave
I think
from.
they should do a crossover. Like, I think that they should literally say that for the last episode and just cross right over into Housewives of Atlanta.
Now that's genius because it's like we have a lot to talk
Yeah, we
about
have a
here.
lot to talk about. And that just and see, you know what? You guys don't give me a call. Cause I would literally make that the transition episode. Like the last episode transitions to Housewives of Atlanta. Phaedra takes a plane over there by Portia, and we see her go off and explain to Portia what happened. And we literally see Mariah Huck come back. Like that is how I would do that trailer. Like Mariah Huck and Lisa Nicole come back.
Okay, well, I
I would
feel
end it
like
off just
we have
like that.
we have a good season ahead of us, and I feel like the last episode of Married to Medicine should go into Real Housewives of Atlanta. And the way I know that you're saying, oh, she came in later on, she came in later on. The way that we explain this is we do that whole 6 months earlier. Like, like when they put that
Mm-hmm.
little time card on, that's how we can do it. And then that's when we start the season of Atlanta.
That's what we
So
do.
it's giving. I want to know about. Tell me, what is this fight that goes down in the trailer? Like, who is
Yeah,
like
so it's multiple fights. Number one is
the
Heavenly and Contessa.
husbands?
Oh yeah, because I think Heavenly says something about Contessa's husband. Then there's one between Dr. G and Quad's new man. And I don't know what that's about, but apparently it seems like Dr. G is trying to evoke that Quad started it. Or it's centered around Quad because he's like, you know how she is. So I'm just like,
Did you see that Dr. Heavenly said on YouTube that lawyers and stuff was being called?
yeah, I seen lawyers are being involved. Now, was it? I wouldn't be surprised if it's Dr. G.
Okay, so what we're getting, Dr. G, we're getting sweet tea. So we're getting more sweet tea this season. We don't
Mhm.
have to like aggravate Quad. I'm so glad. glad Quad got a man, so we do not have to aggravate Quad about this
And I don't
man.
feel no ways. Like I feel like it's fair game because Kawhi has her man. Dr.
Exactly.
G
She's
is
not
moved
worried
on.
about it. Like it's just
Yeah.
too obviously they're going to clash eventually. That's just gonna happen because they just hate each other. But I'm saying that the whole thing that we were worrying about last season was, oh my God, how is Quad gonna feel about Sweet Tea? Like, okay, she's already met
Mm-hmm.
Sweet Tea. It didn't even go the way that y'all thought it was gonna go. She didn't really put Sweet Tea like in
I
her
could see
place or
them being
anything.
okay.
Like
Like I could even see
there's
them.
yeah, like I'm not gonna say friends, but I'm saying that there is no
Mm-hmm.
reason to be like, oh, Quad was jealous of Sweet Tea or like they're beefing or anything. No,
Yeah.
we already got it done. That fight was crazy to see though, because all the wives are running, and I'm just like, this is serious.
Listen, it's very serious. It's no games. And we're also seeing that Dr. Damon might have a few words with Dr. G too about in regards to Heavenly. So I'm like, I'm excited to see all of this. Like this looks like I don't want to speak too soon, but I feel like this might be the best season of Married to Medicine.
I will say that it definitely looks like it has the potential to be.
Yeah.
That trailer, the way that it was edited, the way that Contessa is coming out the motherfucking gate, well, square
It
up
looks
in.
good.
What she said, well, square up.
It looks good. And I'm kind of happy too that Phaedra is transitioning out because I think we got to see her for her for like this the season before, obviously. But just seeing it, I think, and just knowing that she's going back to Atlanta, I feel like this is a better place for her anyway. She can go back to her roots. It's more natural. I feel, and it's also going to force her to bring something, I think. But Married to Medicine, it's like, I think she can be a bit as comfortable as she can be. Like,
Well, she
obviously,
even said that she
yeah.
thought that Married to Medicine was miles easier because they're like, oh, she was like, oh, you guys film on time, you guys have the call time, you guys like. She likes
Mm-hmm.
Married to Medicine, but they really was like, let's see. You think that we are chill, but you forget that we have Dr. Heavily on this cast.
Yeah.
And like
And
we're
they
gonna
will force
see
you to show your hand, like whatever you
because
have
that's the
going on.
way that Married to Medicine had, like that's the reason that they have been the most consistent show
Mm-hmm.
and the best show on Bravo, however
So let's
long
get
they've been
to it.
on.
And they don't need to switch out cast members.
They don't
They
need
don't
to.
need to do that.
We know
They
them and
choose.
we love
They
them.
do it sometimes. Like I think it's good when they rotate between the OGs. Like one season we might have who like Dr. Contessa coming back, and then the next season we might have somebody else come back as well as like a friend of me personally. Like I said, I want to see Lisa Nicole because I just want to get in her marriage. What's going
You're
on with
so
Darren?
nosy. Like,
What's going
how
on?
many times are you gonna get on here and say you
I'm
want Lisa
going to
Nicole
see it.
back?
I want to see her come back and address her marriage. What's going on in the marriage?
Marriage.
Her marriage. That's what I would like to see. Because everybody's like, why Lisa Nicole? That's what it is. Her marriage. It's not Lisa Nicole. It's her marriage and it's her antics. And it's just like, just the little things. Her beef with Quad, like her interactions with Heavenly. I think it's so good. Um, and then besides that, I don't want to see Buffy. Because if not her, then who else? I might want to see that girl who tried to fight Toya, though. I might want to see her back. You remember her? She was good. I forgot her name,
I
but
don't remember her name
I
either.
liked her season, and I liked her. I was like, okay,
All I know, you guys, that trailer was so good. This season is going to be so good.
yeah,
It's coming November. Quad had told us December. What is basically December because it's the very end, like not the very end, but towards the end of November. We are going to be at Bravo Fest, and we are trying to be at the filming of the Watch What Happens Live, which is going to have Married to Medicine and Potomac. And that is just going to be the best day of our lives. Like, there's no BravoCon this year, but there's BravoCon next year. They announced the official dates. We will see you there next year. If you're going to Bravo Fest Miami, let us know. We love you. We want to see you. We want to say hi to you. Let us know what you watch. What happens live taping you're going to. Let us know what you're going to wear. Maybe we can match. But that is going to be the same weekend that Married to Medicine premieres. Mm-hmm. And I have been enjoying Potomac, which we'll get into. But another trailer that came out was the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills trailer. We have a special guest that popped in with us for a little bit that we will be talking about the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills trailer with. So you guys will get all of our thoughts on that later. So what else do you want to get? When does Beverly Hills premiere? I don't think we even got to say that.
When they come back? Kyle, when they come back? When do they come back? And we can accept our release
Tuesday, November 19th, 2024 at 8 p.m.
Ooh,
so Tuesday, it's coming back before.
Are you excited for that?
Absolutely. That trailer was so good. And I think that I kind of wasn't excited for it because I just feel like, oh, how much is Kyle going to say? Like, we already know that we already saw Mauricio hugged up with Anita and hugged up with his bitches and turned up with his
After this, I do think that Kyle can take a break, though.
You'll ruffle some feathers, child, because they are standing.
Kyle they can stand with him. I mean, I get it. Like, I don't dislike Kyle, but I do think that she can take a break. Like, after this, it's cute, but
they say that she is the longest running OG now, and Beverly Hills does not work without her, apparently. I think, well, never mind. I was going to say we should tap in Kim, but Kim is not doing well. So
well, in this town, she can take a break.
Okay, so what do you want to get into first?
I would like to get into Housewives of Potomac. And then I'll transition because Salt Lake City is so good. Like, I just have to save it. Like, how did you feel about the episode, like, opening up with them and the girls closing the door on Ashley in the Sprinter? How did you feel about that?
I thought that was funny as fuck.
I did too.
I thought this because I was not paying attention to her, like we said last time. I'm all for Stacey. Like, I'm still all for Stacey, especially when Ashley spilled her business and she was like,
she couldn't believe it.
But she told them, the girl, and I forget her name. I should know her name because she was so funny. But she was like, I got here at 20:03 military time.
Oh, you're talking about the new girl. That made me like her though. This whole interaction, I was like, I'm starting to pay attention to her.
I'm looking at her. It's just like with Bronwyn on Salt Lake City. I'm like, okay.
I'm looking at you.
Caught my attention. Her trying to close the door on Ashley, I'm sorry, that was extremely.
I thought it was fair.
Like, hilarious, because don't you kick me out of your fucking party and then come back and ask me for money.
Yeah.
But at the same time, she could have literally like switched Ashley's hand, and she was like, well, it bounced back. Yeah. And Ashley was like, you didn't know that at the time.
She's like, well, I didn't experiment. And
he's like, I don't care. So it's really funny. The whole situation of Giselle kicking them out of the event, I thought that if they came in there like disrespectfully late, I felt that, like if they came 8:30, then it's like, okay, well, no, because the event's about to wrap up. But they literally tried to get there at 8 o'clock. They literally said hi, paid their respects to Karen, and then they ran across town in the thing, came in with good energy, and was trying to kind of like, be there. While we talked about this on Ryan Bailey's podcast, while I think that Karen was wrong for what she did, period, because I think that was, she just talked to Giselle. Her and Giselle was doing good. And then also, this is an event in honor of Giselle's dad, like, dying from brain cancer. Like, that's kind of messed up. But, for the ladies who did try to make both events, and they got there at a respectable time, like, she was still taking pictures with fans. So I thought that Giselle should have let them in. And I was actually, which I want to ask you about, were you surprised that Giselle actually like gathered herself and was like, you know what? I don't have a problem with these ladies. I have a problem with Karen. and she
No, I wasn't.
apologized.
Yeah, I wasn't surprised by that at all because I think her thinking about it and even rewatching it, they weren't that late, and that's usually not a problem. So why would it be a problem now? So I am glad that she was able to respond in that way. That
Yeah.
made me really appreciate her for that. I was like, okay, I can appreciate that. You
Yeah, I
know?
really like that. And then I also think what it was, it could be because Robin's not there anymore and her
Yeah.
and Wendy,
Oh, and she
they're
knows they will get
okay.
in her ass.
But I think that she's trying to see, let me suss out who I like not let me make
Hmm.
too many enemies at one time because these are the new girls. We're going forward. This is a new cast. They done brought three new people in. They got Vivian, they got Stacey, they got this other girl. So, like I
I'm
might need some
also
people on my side.
very surprised when it comes to Karen and Giselle's friendship because when you see Karen talking about like who supported her the most this season, she's saying that it's Giselle, but seeing in some of the scenes in confessionals, I'm like, did she see these confessionals?
Maybe we're at the beginning of the season, right? This is only like
Yeah,
the third episode.
but even still,
You're right.
like, what are you having a party for? Like, because you crashed into a tree?
Like if someone wanted to honor her, it's not her place to say no. But I also don't think that you should step on your friend's event that you specifically
Yeah.
told them that you weren't going to do. Like that's
No, I
just
agree. I definitely think that Karen was in the wrong. And it kind of gives me like I just feel like Karen is very much that type of person. Like she's doing what she has to do. She's like, I'm gonna have this event because I want to
move
take
the
that
attention off of me,
attention
the
off of
negative
me
attention.
and turn it into something positive. So right now, I need you guys to rally around me and support me and be here for me. And if you're not here for me, I'm gonna pay attention to it.
Now,
That's her.
do you, because I want to know, because you and Kendrick, shout out to Kendrick, y'all showed
Mhm.
y'all ass. I want
We
to say
did.
that.
Not us
You
getting in
even got,
trouble
even the
now.
way that y'all started the show was so
I feel
disrespectful.
like it's too late to get in trouble though. Like, because to be
It
fair,
is too
we
late to
did
get
it.
in trouble. I
Okay.
just wanted to say that I want y'all to know that I listened to it. And I didn't address it earlier this week, but you showed your ass. But this is how it relates to it. Tamara did something fucked up by lying on her children's lives, and you kind of stand for it. Now that Karen is doing something
I
fucked up,
stand for it.
you said that you kind of liked her for it. I got you posted the clip. You want me to play it?
I said that.
Okay, let's see. Did you say it?
That was me.
You swore on your kid's life, baby. And I don't know if do I want to say that. Say it. I don't know if that kind of made me like her a little bit.
Oh, it kind of made you like her a little bit. That's you. That's you. Caught in the act in 4D. So if you like Tamara for showing her
Who
ass and
the
swearing
hell
on
was
her
that?
kids, it was you.
That is
Uh,
AI technology.
it was you. You posted it. You posted it
I
to our
never posted
Instagram.
that.
You posted it to our Instagram, and it was
I
well liked. And
swear.
I want y'all listening too. Y'all getting the whooping too, because you guys literally pushed this up.
I swear
My
on my
question.
Pokemon's life. I never posted anything.
Let me get into it. So, since that may have made you like Tamara a little bit more,
Mm-hmm.
do you think that Karen's delusional ability and her trying to get the heat off of her, do you think that that behavior made you kind of stand Karen a little bit?
Um, not okay, a little bit. A tiny bit, but not as much as it did Tamara, I'll be honest. Just because you know what it is with Karen, I feel like she's being personal. And I feel like she's really talking about me when she says that. That's how I took it. Like, because she's just very big on those of you who aren't supporting me now, I'll take note of that. And I'm just like, it's not that I'm not supporting you, Karen. Because I
So
support
you
you.
literally.
It's that you could have killed somebody. Like, this is something that's really bad. One thing that I will say on a positive note, I think that she did take some form of accountability when it was brought up by Ashley. That's what I will say. Like, when Ashley brought it up, like, and she admitted that she could have killed somebody, and she could have, even though she took the attention off that, and she said I could have also killed myself. And I'm just like,
But it's true.
oh, Karen. I think we're just waiting for her to have that moment that everybody has after they get a DUI. And and maybe I have to understand that she's just not going to have that moment. And maybe she's going to process it and deal with it differently. So, like I said, I'm giving her a chance to do that. And I'm not trying to, like, be on her ass, but, I guess that's a start, is what I'm
What I
trying to
think,
say.
okay, that's a good point. What I kind of think is that the reason that she kind of isn't taking full accountability in the way that we want her to now, and she's trying to deflect, and she's like, Mia, just read the fucking internet then. I think it's because she's going to court right now. So what you say
Mhm.
on camera and what you're telling people is being recorded, and you are going to court. So we can't talk about it too much. Shannon, I don't know what happened with her. Like, it wasn't, her whole thing wasn't that she was going to court. Like, we know
She didn't
that
give
she
a fuck
got
about that. She said I
the
did it.
breathalyzer.
I think she knew because she was caught. And she was like,
Hers had happened like way before, I think, the season like kind of started filming. Karen's is so fresh that she doesn't know what her punishment will be, so she doesn't really want to talk about it. You know how housewives are like when they get sued, they're like, we can't talk about it on camera. That's what it's giving to me, at least.
now that we talk about Shannon, do you think that Archie was the one that told the
No,
police officers what happened?
no. Leave this poor damn dog. He was like, Ruth?
Well, I think they brought in some Chick-fil-A. And he's like, okay, well, I'll tell you what happened.
They brought in some kibbles and bits and a chicken bone from
And some
KFC.
fucking beef tartare. And he's like, okay, I'll tell you. I'll tell you.
You're the funniest fucking person on the planet, but you need help. Let's get into what I really want to ask you about. Stacey and this dude who won't have sex with her.
He kind of looks like the guy from Channel 7 News. And I know that's totally off, but like, did you see
what he was giving me was TJ Holmes. You know that whole scandal?
Yeah, with the
TJ
news,
Holmes
yes.
and
Like an
the lady.
older TJ Holmes.
Yeah, he gives me that. But what do you think about their interaction? Because I found it very, and you know our word, weird.
Weird. I kind of think of it like, you know what it's giving me? It's giving me Brittany. It's giving me Brittany. It's not as bad as Brittany because I do believe like it's probably a mutual thing. But when you come to me and you tell me that you've been seeing this guy and you like him, and there's nothing going on other than, I mean, dates in the skating rink, I'm kind of like,
And you guys are working out, and when you're talking, you're asking him, how much do you want to have sex with me? And he's like, not at all. Like, okay,
I'm
it's
like,
one thing.
is that a thing that happens once you get a certain age? Is companionship more important than,
Like, you don't think it's the
the
physical, you think
sexual?
it's the companionship.
Yeah, because I
Okay.
mean, I do hear that. Like, and I'm not gonna call my grandma out, but my grandma's friend, she feels that way too.
I understand what you
It's the
mean.
companionship part. Like, they just want to go to the mall with each other and do things like that.
Just have someone to, like,
yeah,
be with, and it doesn't have to be sexual. But that's not what I'm getting. He's giving me like friend vibes completely, because it's one thing to, like, I respect that he doesn't want to have sex before marriage, but any man, especially because he's comfortable about joking about wanting to have big balls, and It's like, what do you? And then you say you don't want to have sex at all. Like, Nicki Minaj.
Sometimes big boobs.
Big
Sometimes
boobs.
it happens. I don't want to say that though, because it's like I feel like
it's like weird.
We've had that
even
enough.
Like he's trying.
But some people say that means that you're just not, in that department.
What do you mean? What department?
Like in downstairs. Like maybe is it working?
That could be working? Something. But it's also like we're on TV. I don't want to kind of like embarrass you.
I would explain that though. That's what I feel like. If it is that, I think that he would have had that conversation with her by now. And like I said, I don't even see that as a problem. For some people they might want more, and that's okay too. But I'm just like, I think they should just have an honest conversation, maybe off camera, and then get back on camera. Because it just looks weird. It looks like there's something missing, and I think we're watching that as the viewers. So I can only imagine how she feels while all this is happening and cameras are in her face, and she's trying to figure out what the fuck is going on as well.
And she's trying to like make it light and bounce, and bouncy, but also show that this is kind of my man. But it's like
they do look good together,
right?
And I think that's one of the things that's gonna get me when I get that age too. Like, I feel like if the person looks good with me, I'm just gonna like think about that.
Because you're a Leo.
Because I'm like, it's visually pleasing.
Because you're a Leo, and like you guys are all about aesthetic. You guys are.
Yeah. Right now, I'm about personality. But as I get older, I think I'm going to realize that it's just not going to happen anyway. Like, I feel like I'm getting to that point now, but I just, even more so at that age, I'm just going to realize that guys are going to constantly disappoint me. So I might as well just.
This is what you're telling me. This is what you're telling me. You basically feel like Marissa's mom from Love is Blind.
Yeah.
I don't want you to feel that way because love is real and it happens.
I do believe that it's real now. But I'm saying if by that time
the light to dim. I don't
if
want
I have somebody playing with me like that and taking me to Costco and saying, "Oh, we're cool," like, hey,
but you would never allow that to happen. Bitch. Would you go to Costco and let a dude put you in a cart and push you around and put it on Instagram and call you your best? Like, that's the thing. I think that we're just not those kind of people.
I might do it in private, but I wouldn't do it on Instagram. And I wouldn't be the one in the cart. Like, that's a little bit weird. Like, maybe walking around. Like, I just don't know.
Okay, so let's get back to the show, which, like, we see them hanging out together, and then we see, obviously, Giselle calls this luncheon. She apologizes to the ladies. The ladies accept the apology. I like it. It's kind of like a clean slate kind of thing. Then we get to Giselle is trying to get to know the ladies, and Ashley blurts out, yeah, she's divorced, but she's seeing someone. And Stacey is shook. Do you think that this is the turning point where Stacey is kind of going to be on Ashley? Because we saw in the trailer that she's absolutely. Like, oh, it's her birthday or whatever.
Because she's like, this is different.
But I've been enjoying their friendship, though. And I think that even though I've been enjoying their friendship and I would like to see it continue, she, in that same vein, she's like, I thought that we were building a bond, a private bond. And then you come to the table and you spill my motherfucking, like, let me say these things.
I think, you know what we're looking at is typical Ashley.
Right.
This is how she falls out with a lot of her friends, because people tell you information and then you go back and then you say something and you put it out on the table. And then when they confront you about it, you're just like, well.
And that's just how she is, though. I don't think that she throws rocks and hide her hands. I think that that's just literally how Ashley is.
I mean, I get that's how she is, but when people do it to you, will you be okay with that? Because if people came out and was talking about that Michael situation.
Well, actually, she did handle that pretty, because Karen said
as well as she could, like, because you don't never let nobody see you sweat. But
I don't know, because when Karen was like, and she took it to hell. So I think that Ashley can dish it and take it because we just saw her do it on that same episode. But I don't like that she told her business like that. But that just is who Ashley is. And that's why when, like, I like that they had these deep connection, like, kind of like conversations and they were building this bond. And she got to let us, you know, she literally kind of like introduced us to more of who Stacey is. But at the same time, I'm like, get to know some of the other ladies in the same capacity. Because
I do think that Ashley needs to change that about herself, though, because I don't think you can ever genuinely have a friendship with somebody and you're like that. Like, to the point where you just feel so comfortable just telling their business like that. And I think that's the difference between her and that's one thing that I will give Giselle. She does that, but she's selective about who she does that with. She's not going to do that she's not going to do that with Robin. She's not going to really do that with Karen. The only reason she's talking about this DUI situation, I believe, is because it's like public information. But if Karen confided in her, I don't think she would go back and just throw it on the table.
Yeah, and I also think that it like you kind of have to grow in a sense, and you've been doing this since literally day one. So it's like,
at what point?
We get it, you're a bone collector, but like kind of like draw that back. But I don't know, me personally, like I absolutely love it. I would be able to be her friend in real life.
It's good. It's good for the show.
It's good TV.
But now I'm starting to get what Candace kind of means a little bit.
You know, but either way, I saw her and Lisa Barlow and Sutton and Andy. They're all in London right now, and those are our girls. So speaking of Lisa Barlow, should we finally talk about the grand finale?
Because we should talk about
episode
Salt
8
Lake City.
Utah.
First of all, the interactions between Mary and Heather. That's what I really funny as hell. Because Heather is like, well, how have I treated you bad? And Mary's whole thing is like, when have you treated me good? And that stuck with me. That stuck with me so much. Stay tuned, guys.
What?
I'll say that. Because it's like, that was such a good point. And Heather couldn't even say anything. She's like, what? Like, and she just walked away. Because it's true. Mary gets you. Like, when you think that you're about to point the finger at her, she points 17 fingers back at you. And she makes you look weird. That's what I love about Mary. It's like, you try to make her look weird, and she's going to make you look weird as fuck. And Heather looked like she was weird as fuck at this event. I was like, is she okay?
I really love getting to know Mary, and she hasn't really like offended anyone like yet.
Yeah, she's been good.
So that's why I'm just like, oh, thank God. And then we're also like, we're talking about her son. We're seeing his quote unquote wife. She's opening up about her mom like wouldn't buy food and these random things were in her fridge and how her childhood was. And I'm just like, man, like, you know, her whole thing is literally just survival. So I'm enjoying.
I will say that I'm scared. It's like whenever I see Mary at home, it makes me feel uneasy because it's like, it's something not right about that. Like, it's something not right about none of that situation. Degrassi.
In like, okay, so in a sense that there's storyline there, and then there's something like dramatic that's going to happen.
Yeah, I feel like there's something that's not clicking because we know there's something going on with her son. Like, I think we're looking at it, we're hearing him slur, and I mean worse than Meredith. Like, it's bad. And he's just walking up the stairs, like, with his eyes halfway closed. And the girl is following behind him in this hoodie
up.
And she's like, I love you, Mary. And I'm just like, this is strange. Like,
it's giving like a cult. And I'm just like, what's going on?
What is happening behind these bedroom doors? Like, open up that door and let's see what's inside.
I will
Now,
say I did not know. Like, I don't know. She had to redecorate because her house is tea.
it looks good, especially that kitchen.
That
Like,
kitchen
I would
was
never expect a blue. That was some HGTV shit.
Tiffany blue.
Chelsea, did you do that? Chelsea from
What's her
Teen
name?
Mom?
Chelsea
Chelsea
Hoska.
Dubois? Did you do that? But
Okay,
yeah.
obviously, like the last thing I want to talk about is Brittany, but the second thing
Yeah.
that I want to talk about is
Yeah.
this whole Lisa Barlow and Whitney conversation, and Lisa is
Oh my
calling the
gosh.
motherfucking police. And
I
now,
thought
go ahead.
that was crazy. Like, I thought it escalated so fast. Like, they were having a conversation, and then all of a sudden, she's like, matter of fact, I'm going to call the police.
Yeah, nigga,
Like,
like
it was very.
I just feel like no, because it's just like you are. What I don't like about this, even though that was a very dramatic reaction, I don't like that Whitney is bringing Instagram accounts into a main timeline on the show. When they did it last season, it was because it was one of them
Mhm.
literally infiltrated in the group, and also because this account had been around. Monica's account, the reality Von Tees, had been around for a while. We've known that account, so it made sense to put that in the storyline. With Whitney, she's talking about how it's hurting her business and she doesn't buy things from Ali blah blah. And it's like we never heard about this story. This was not a thing.
The only thing though is I'm gonna actually have to back Whitney on this
Go ahead.
because I feel like it is fair, especially when I seen her conversation happening with Meredith. I don't think it's fair for Lisa because if she didn't do it, then you look like an asshole. But for Meredith to kind of like not really understand that, I feel like it's bullshit. Because if Meredith was going through a similar situation and she found out that an Instagram page reached out to her, she would be on a phone call with motherfucking Brooks in a tracksuit or in her bathtub, and she would be like, they say that whoever's behind this owns an alcohol company. Do you think it's Lisa?
What I'm trying to say is to bring this to the show is more damaging because it wasn't. No, listen. I'm trying to say that this is something that could hurt your brand, but this was not something that was made known to the Bravo. We are in that content creator universe. We had not seen that post. Ryan didn't see that post. We're still trying to figure out who it is that made that post. It was one post. It wasn't something that was viral. So for her to make it a whole thing, it was just like you are doing damage to your company because it wasn't a thing.
I do think that it would have become a thing, though. That's why I say that. Because we're living in an age.
Meredith would have continued
I think that
and then turned it into
either Meredith would have continued it or like after the season ended, I think somebody would have been like, or like while we're watching this, I think somebody would have been like, well, let's see. Let's see if she's getting this shit off of Alibaba. And I think it would have created more of more attention, more negative attention. But I think this is Whitney's way, and I'm not saying it's necessarily the right way to deal with it, but I think this is her way of trying to get a grip on it so she kind of has control over the narrative and she could be like, see, this isn't what's happening. It's this person spreading lies about me.
And it turns out that it's not even Lisa that did it in real life. Because now Dana Wilkie, that lady who used to be on Beverly Hills, the $25,000 lady, they're saying that she's trying to claim that she found the story, which wasn't a thing. And then there's people saying that it was Up and Adam. And then Up and Adam is like, no, I have nothing to do with it. And also there was like this random Instagram account who Dana Wilkie allegedly got the information from. And now everyone is trying to disconnect themselves from the situation because they lied on Lisa.
Is Monica?
That would be a gag.
My whole thing is, if it is, please stop. Like, I think enough. Like,
But
enough.
my whole thing is that, Whitney, you are trying to have a problem with either Meredith and Lisa every single season. We understand that you feel like they treat like an outsider. Let's address that. Let's work on that.
Because I think she's noticing now. And to be fair, it's like I'm seeing what she's saying. Like, I know I don't like, now that you say that, maybe Lisa isn't behind it, but if you left a gift that she got you in a hotel room and you pretending like you forgot about it, whatever. Like, is it true? No, Lisa says it's not true. Lisa says it was a mistake. But Whitney is calculated. Like, her head is like, oh, she left that in the room, so she really doesn't fuck with me. And she is the one that sent that information over to the Instagram page about my bracelets in Alibaba. So now I'm going to have to confront Lisa about it and tell her about herself and tell her not to do it and make sure my business doesn't go under.
So she's trying to connect the dots, and you, like you said, like kind of put a pin in it and stop the rumors at.
And I don't even when she brought it up to Lisa, like, I didn't think it was crazy. Like, I thought she brought it up in a way that was like,
the way that she didn't like say her usual like aha. But
it was
I think
just,
the thing is, Lisa was caught off guard because it's like, it's like someone that you don't really fuck with, but you already said, you know what, we're good. We're having a good time in Milwaukee or whatever, you know. But it's like, if we're good, leave me alone. Like, why are you trying to catch me in something?
Because they're not good.
You don't.
They're not good. They're not good.
Not good. Because it's like, I want to know what's going on with you and Justin. What's going on with you and the kids? What the hell happened with your dad that we saw for a whole season and then we never saw him again? Like, it's just like she's pointing her fingers and there's 17 pointing back at
She's
her.
like, I'm not trying to say it's you, Lisa, but they say that the person's name is Fisa Barbo.
Okay, but that is not even what I really want to get into.
Brittany. And this new, who's this guy? Jeff?
Aaron.
Oh, Aaron, yes.
Jared and Aaron.
It's Jared and Aaron. And we're meeting Aaron Osmond for the first time. And apparently this is somebody that Heather knows too. And Heather's ass gets on my damn nerves. Like, she's been pissing me the fuck off lately. Because if I bring somebody,
tell me.
If I bring somebody to the function, don't come up to them and be like, "Oh, don't I know you? How did you touch me?" That's not your motherfucking business. If you know him from back in the day, that's your friend. Talk about your friendship with him. That's your friend. Talk about your friendship with him. But you don't need to be asking questions about how we know each other, want, and don't. Like, you don't need to be asking none of that. Shout out to Portia. Don't need to be asking none of that.
Okay.
And I thought she was completely out of line for that. Like, because now you're embarrassing me.
What did you think about her confessional that she was like, oh, I made out with half of Salt Lake City makes out with other people or whatever?
I mean, I thought it was kind of hot. I was like, so it is true.
You are a good time girl.
Was Lisa on to something with that the hot mic moment?
She was a good time girl.
I don't know. Because she said Meredith slept with half of New York. Right?
But no, but like, I'm talking about Heather and talking about how she made out with dude or whatever.
Yeah, I thought that was really weird too. I don't know. Honestly, after I find that out, like, if I were to find something out like that at my party, I would be like, you can go.
It was because it's Angie's weird party, but okay. Like, we see Brittany come in with a different dude after she done chewed out Lisa for breaking up her relationship and ruining it. Apparently, we see her with a brand new man. But then all of a sudden, literally, Jared Osmond, the person who has tried to make himself a ghost on the show, appears in a full, like, bust down suit, fitted suit. And Whitney says that Justin invited this guy.
Justin is messy as hell, and I love it.
And that Justin didn't know what he's even doing. And I'm like, I'm going to call that out. That's a motherfucking lie. He knew exactly what he was doing.
But
he's just like his wife.
He's literally Dr. Heavenly.
He's just like his wife.
This is how we produce. Justin has another job now, and he's producing. And I mean, I respect it because two people have to have an income. Like, he's playing his role, and he's like, you know what? I'll be a part of this.
I just didn't expect him to be. That's what I was shocked when he walked in.
Was like, I get it, because he's so suave. Like, you know what energy he gives me too?
Jared Osmond.
Yes, okay. Jared Osmond. He gives me Nate Jacobs' dad before all the bad shit, like, or just the actor himself. But does he not give you that energy, like that dad? I have secrets kind of energy. Yeah.
Zaddy vibes. Yeah. And he's so tall. And it's just so confusing because like it's the total diametrical opposite of how he has been acting. It's just like 1 minute he's breaking up and then saying that they're best friends. And then the next minute you're putting on a suit and you're coming to the party when she has a whole other dude there. And actually shout out to Brittany, because Brittany, you think that's hot because you're toxic. Brittany literally said, listen, I like to tear away and I continue to date. And I'm just like, so you're not this little sick, sad puppy that you're portraying yourself to be.
Do she mean that, or is she just trying to be tough? Because she knows that he's watching. Because I would also do that. Yeah. I would also say that. I would be like, you guys don't even understand how many dates I go on every single day. And they look way better than him. And they have high credit scores. But I choose to, lollygag with him because it's fun and I enjoy Costco. Like, that would literally be my confessional. And then, like, afterwards, I would cry about it for, like, a good 3 hours. Because it's like he has this swab. And I think every person knows a man like him. It's always that guy that's never going to give you what the fuck you want. But he's just like, he comes around and he's like Mr. Big. He's literally her Mr. Big. He comes around, he like shits on her, but then he also cleans her up and he's like, you're all right, kid. And it's like, what the fuck? Like, what are you doing?
God, that's exactly.
And he just comes in.
And it works.
In that moment, I understood. Like, I understood everything. I'm like, this makes sense because she's like, well, why are you here? He's like, because I was told there would be like a party. And I'm like,
such an asshole move.
That's so fucking
and it's smooth.
Like, keep talking.
And I got the feeling like once they went back inside, she wanted to send her date home. Like,
I know she left with him. She probably left. She probably told Erin to go home. And then she's like, Jared, I need a ride. Because that's exactly what I would do.
He just did not give a fuck. He just stood next to Justin and he was just like lifting his eyebrow and he's like, it's a party.
And then he's looking at her on her date and he's fine with it. Like, I don't know that shit.
Because he knows that he has her.
That shit does it for me.
I want so much more for you.
I do too, but I can't help it.
But you're just like you're not just like Brittany, but you stand her because
I get it.
Yeah, because that's why she also wears her heart on her sleeve. And even when like she was like boohoo crying because he was there, she was so happy that he was there.
She was
and then also I think that you definitely loved when she was like, well, I don't want you to make the big grand gestures like this. I want you to like come with me to the party.
Fuck, I love that woman. And I love everything that's going on with this story. Like, it's not even Salt Lake City to me. Like, this is like a separate show. It's a show on its own.
The soap opera, like,
Yeah.
listen, like that's the one thing Heather got right, that this is a soap opera.
And nothing else matters. Like, when they were talking, she didn't give a fuck. Like, if everybody in that building was burning, she would be okay. Because Jared fucking Osmond is here. And he lives on what? Osmond fucking road.
Osmond Lane.
Osmond Lane. And that's all that matters.
So, Jared Osmond, hot
with that
or
being
not?
said, I like Brittany.
Okay, so you made your decision that you like
Brittany. I like her a lot.
Jared Osmond, hot or not?
Very hot, yeah.
Dude, Aaron, hot or not?
Nah.
You don't
and I don't care if we have the same name, no.
Damn, you got me. But also, like, you don't think
I'll take the L.
That, like, he kind of like stood like on business, like, at all?
No, he's Aiden. He's Aiden. He's not going to be anything. And it's just like, he's not going to give her, he's not the type of guy that's going to stand in the room and watch you be on a date and like just be so cunning about everything and like take you out on the balcony and tell you how you're like worthless. But he's not going to do any of that. And that's what he does with her. It's like, you're really not shit, but like, I fuck with you, kid.
It's like, I'm bored. I came over here, kid.
And she likes it because she's like, you're in fucking love with me. And he is. Like, you can't tell me that he's not. He is. Like, those are the type of men, though, I can guarantee you, when she's going to be fucking 72 years old, he's going to finally be like, all right.
I'm ready to settle down.
And she's going to be ready. She's going to put a chicken pot pie in the oven. She's going to be like, let's get it.
Because it's always been him.
It's always been him.
And they are going to have a dual Costco membership.
That's why I didn't believe any of that shit. Like, when she's like, oh, I go on dates and, you know, I'm always on dates. And even everybody's like, girl, what? Like, what are you talking about? You were just saying that.
That's what pissed me off. Like, you literally got in Lisa's ass about this. And then you show up with another guy, and then not only that, you leave your guy to go and talk to Jared fucking Osmond.
Yeah.
Jared Osmond, I don't know. Like, you're toxic. Don't do the eyebrows. You guys, Aaron is doing the Mr. Big eyebrow raise, just for context.
I think this shit's hot. Like, he has my vote. I don't know if there's a voting poll, but he has it.
That's what we should do. That's going to be the pot stirrer. We have arrived at the end of the episode, you guys. Salt Lake City was everything. I don't really want to talk about New York because that was like kind of, I'm sorry.
That shit was boring as hell. But I did think they all look great, especially Jenna Lyons. And I wanted to say too,
go ahead.
Fuck, this is a very Sex in the City day because I wanted to say I feel like Jenna Lyons is the female version of Mr. Big in this universe. And that guy that she was talking to that reported like the sex parties, he's the male version of Carrie Bradshaw.
I like that theory.
Mm-hmm. But that's
Bryn, you kind of pissed me off because don't tell Uba to not play into the angry black woman trope. If that's the way that she's expressing herself and trying to give her, and she's trying to give her advice on how to be with her man, when it's like, girl, you don't have a man, so don't give out any advice about it. And then also, if you don't want her to play into an angry black woman trope, because she was trying to say it like, I don't want the audience to perceive you that way.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't like that because it's like, let her be who she is. And also, you are playing into the slut trope. So how about you not playing into the slut trope?
And she's also literally trying to give her tips on how to sway a white man. And I thought that was very weird. Like, you have to be this way. And I'm just like, Brandon, are you okay?
Not everyone is just going to bounce around and be bubbly and like, haha, and hee.
But that,
all that shit
shows me, it kind of brings me to her, like, when she's talking about her childhood. And I'm like, it's something not right. It's something not right. And I see the disconnect because Nobody would ever do that. Like they wouldn't. At least they wouldn't do it on TV. They might tell you like, "Girl, this is what white men do when you with them."
Well,
But they're
well,
not.
they did it. She did it off camera. She did do it off camera. Like they didn't say. She didn't say that. She said it to Ubo off camera. But I think that even if she did say that, because she, Aaron was in the room also, so they brought it to, and that's what is kind of like making Uba feel passionate against Bryn, because she's like, I love you, but you are stirring the pot, making me react. And then when I react, you had the nerve to basically tell me that I'm being an angry Black woman, and how, men don't like that stereotype. And then Bryn goes in the confessional and she's like, well, I was just trying to tell her to don't play into the stereotype, when it's like, let her be her and let you be you, because you're playing into a stereotype too.
Correct. And I think that's one of my problems with Bryn. It's like I like her, but there are moments where she does that, and I feel like she's playing a role, and she kind of wants everybody else to play along, and it's like it gets weird.
And I also don't like the fact that you like to be the shit stirrer and you like it and you're stirring the pot, but you want to go home every day. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, you're losing me. You're losing me, girl.
It's all the money she's spending on that damn apartment.
But anyways, y'all, okay, so I think the pot stirrer should be who is hotter, like who has the bigger BDE. Jared Osmond for showing up the way that he did and kind of pulling Brittany to the side and not giving a fuck that she had a date, or Aaron for being there and like not hearing that his date is talking to Jared Osmond and knowing that he has some connections with the people there.
You gotta know what my vote is.
You're voting Jared Osmond.
Correct. There's no other candidates to me.
Let us know. Let us know.
Oh, I also wanted to say another thing. Speaking of candidates, did you guys vote? Because I voted. Speaking of, I'm so glad God works in mysterious ways. Because just when I was about to forget, he's like, "No, don't."
He made me say candidates.
Did you vote? You voted.
I voted. I voted for I fell out of a coconut tree. And
you fell out of a coconut tree? Okay.
Kamala Harris.
Great.
Like I said, like we also discussed on the podcast multiple
times. And we're not a politics podcast. So that's really weird. Like, we just bring it up. And regardless of who you guys are voting for, voting has always been important to us. That was last term. Like this way. That was the term before that. If we had a podcast during that time, that would have been the term. That would have been the thing. And we're going to be just like that this time. It's very important. You guys need to go out and vote. Regardless of who you're voting for, you need to open that damn ballot.
Yeah.
And bubble in them motherfucking bubbles. Yeah. And there's nothing, like, I'm not here to judge anybody. And I don't think anybody else should be judged for talking about who they feel should win this election or whatnot, and why, if they have probable cause. These are all conversations that need to be had, and everybody's going to speak their piece when they feel they need to speak it. So there should be no judgment all across the board. But my whole point was just get out there and vote. That was the biggest point.
Yeah, get out there and vote, and I feel like also mind your business.
Yeah. And don't come in DMs and say weird shit.
And also,
don't be fucking weird.
I just feel like also, like, if like I appreciate people who are passionate about different causes, and I definitely think that in order to make change in people of color communities, we need the support of white people, but also be not y'all who I'm talking to. I'm just talking to people in general, because y'all know. But if you are not a person of color and you're approaching a person of color about voting, how they should vote, what they should vote for, be mindful that we've experienced more than you can ever even think of. Mm-hmm. Be mindful who you're talking. Be very demure about that.
Very cutesy.
Very cutesy, very demure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
and that's
it. That's
all. That's just proper etiquette, honestly. But here you guys go. We have a special surprise for you. We have Morgan from Morgan Pop Talks, and we're so excited because we're talking about all things pop culture. There's a Nikki Bella story. We're talking about Dancing with the Stars. We're talking about her thoughts on Housewives of Beverly Hills, and I hope you guys enjoy.
Love you. Bye. Morgan, first of all, how are you? Anything new?
Mhm.
Well, I am celebrating 1 year married, which I guess is new. Although, our story is super complicated. We have like 3 different wedding dates because my
Mhm.
husband is not American. So we had to do the 90-day fiance thing. So we got married on paper on October 15th. We said our vows on October 20th, just with my family. But then we had a big wedding this June. So
Yeah.
I can't really keep it all straight. But as of October 20th, we just celebrated our 1 year wedding anniversary. So that's new.
Oh my gosh,
Congratulations.
congrats. How does that feel to be married for like a whole year?
Because they say the first year is like the
Yeah.
hardest. So it's like, was
Yeah,
it?
it's interesting. I told my husband that the other day. I said, they say the first year is the hardest. And like not to sound super corny and cheesy and lame, but like if that's the case, I hit the freaking jackpot because it's been the best year ever. I think, we had a lot of struggles he lived in London throughout the entirety of our relationship. So going through the pandemic and not being able to see him and then going through the immigration process is really, really draining and taxing mentally and our wallets as well. So I
Absolutely.
think we were just so ready to be in this space. And when we were dating, he would come over for a month at a time, 2 months at a time. So we kind of got a taste of what it was like to live together anyways. But it's been great. It definitely was not a hard year.
Listen, your goals. See,
uh
I believe the Love is Blind cast needs to see this.
yes.
Like, you should have recorded a few scenes for them to understand what this is about and what they should be doing.
Yes, I agree. This season has been an absolute disaster.
Okay, so then you guys know Morgan for her pop culture takes, mainly on TikTok, but she's all over the interwebs. She obviously has her own podcast, which you guys should already be listening to. Since we are talking, Love is Blind came up naturally. Yesterday was the weddings. We were able to get our thoughts out to you guys, and we definitely posted some memes about it. Morgan, what did you think about that's that'll be number one because we have 5 things we want to chat about you with. What did you think about this season altogether? And did you see what couple surprised you the most in either the bullshit or getting married?
um yeah, I would say that this season was the worst. I think it's up there with the Izzy and Stacey season of just being like really, really horrible. But I also think that it's such an interesting thing how quickly Love is Blind became so popular. I mean, there wasn't really any buffer between a first season and it being like a household name show, up there with The Bachelor, who's been on TV for 20 years. So I feel like, the first 4 seasons, people still didn't really know participants, didn't really know, what the trajectory of their influencer career could be after filming a new reality show. But that ship has sailed and everybody knows that they're going on the show to be an influencer. And, it's the same thing. We're going through the same thing in Bachelor Land as we're doing in Love is Blind right now. So I don't know, like, what do you even do to fix that? Do you do a golden Love is Blind? I mean, it's working in one franchise, so maybe try it. But I think overall, what surprised me the most, I mean, the Tyler situation, I did not see coming. I'm still really just like super confused about it. Obviously, there's 2 sides to every story. I think I'm really interested to see what Ashley is going to say at the reunion. That's really what I'm holding out for because typically, there's 2 sides to every story and the truth is somewhere in the middle. So I want to hear from Ashley. I want to know, what this past year has been like for her, if this stuff has come up since then, because it seemed like, he didn't bring it up in the pods, obviously, which I also think was a big, big, big mistake because you can't get engaged under technically a lie by omission because he didn't tell her, right? So I'm really interested to see how that is going to play out. I have no idea.
Do we know if they are still married, like Taylor and Garrett and Ashley and Tyler? Like, has anyone pulled the marriage records? Because I know that before the whole Hannah and Nick breakup, TMZ caught Nick and they pretty much said straight up, they spoiled it, that they are no longer together and that he is single. And I just saw today that someone messaged someone and was like, Nick used to live in my building. He had a different girl every day and he shouldn't have been on the show in the first place. But at the same time, like, well, Nick was single and Hannah, it was too much. But I wonder if they are still married. Did they ever get legally married? Because I had heard some contestants, they don't get like legally married like on paper, or what that situation is. And also at the reunion, I'm wondering, are they going to bring back like Leo for the whole triangle of
Absolutely, they have to.
Yeah,
I think they have to. I did see like a little promo clip with Brittany and Leo a while ago promoting the reunion and them saying that they were going to be there. So, I mean, that was also a shock. The fact that they didn't have the budget to follow all of the couples that got engaged is beyond me. Like, you should be prepared, find a different resort. Like,
and why did they even go to Miami? Like, no, you're on the show. You guys are going to Mexico. Like, that's it.
The whole thing was just bizarre.
Well, okay, so let's hop on over to ABC. Like, I feel like I know that Aaron doesn't, but I feel like I'm one of the only people who are like, I'm very invested in Dancing with the Stars. Spoiler alert, if you guys, I saw it on your TikTok, that's why I wanted to bring it up with you. Spoiler alert, if you guys didn't know, they had Disney night, which is always my favorite night because I'm such a like Disney, I don't want to say Disney adult, but I'm obsessed with Disney. But Phaedra got eliminated, and I am so upset. But you know what? I think that she stayed longer than I expected her to stay because she got past the midway point. Yeah, she got past the midway point. What did you think that the elimination of Phaedra was like fair? Did you think that she kind of like ran her course, or do you think that they should have eliminated someone else?
No, I do think that it was the right time. It did feel right. You know, I feel like who else was in the bottom three? Like Riley and Steven. I feel like if they would have went home, it would have been a really big shock. But when they announced Phaedra, I was like, okay, it hurts because we love Phaedra. Her reality TV resurgence this year alone with Traitors, you know, coming back to Atlanta and now doing Dancing with the Stars, like she's just killed it this year. But I wasn't all that shocked that she got eliminated this week.
I'm seeing a lot about Eric Roberts, who I had never even my mom knows of him because I think that's her generation. And I just know the last name Roberts, but for some reason it did not click that that's Emma Roberts' dad, apparently. Right. And then, yes, it's Emma Roberts' dad. He was on Dancing with the Stars. He got eliminated the same night that the guy from Family Matters got eliminated.
Is this Julia Roberts' brother?
Yes.
Okay, I did not know that. Wow.
Yeah, it's Julia Roberts' brother, and he actually, I think he has he either has or he put out a tell-all book, and both Emma and Julia do not fuck with him at all, and that is crazy to think about because, okay, it's one thing for your sister to be mad at you that you put out a book because she's a superstar, but then your own daughter doesn't mess with you, and she's one of the biggest stars on the planet. Yeah, and that's something that flashed on my news, on my pop news thing. And I'm just wondering what it was that he did to piss Emma off. Because with Julia, I think that she had a problem with him writing the tell-all book. But with Emma, I like Emma Roberts, but part of liking Emma Roberts is admitting that she is a little bit problematic. And I will say that. So I'm just wondering what it is. And that's what, I love her for it. So
that's what I feel about Anne Hathaway. So I get it. I really like her, but everybody's like, mm-mm.
It's so interesting though, because when you look at Eric Roberts in, on Dancing with the Stars, you see like this cookie cutter grandpa, that everybody loves, and to actually get deep into like family history and know that there's a lot of issues there is really surprising.
Exactly. And I'm like, oh, okay. So then that's why he was on for a good few episodes, because he must be promoting something. Because I had
Right.
never seen him in the headlines as much as he is now. But we're going to go over to what we know and love. Aaron, what did you want to ask about Bravo?
Bravo, bravo. Morgan, how did you feel about the Housewives of Beverly Hills trailer?
Oh my gosh. Shocked, gagged, bamboozled, watched it like 12 times. I could not believe what I was seeing. And honestly, I was coming into it a little bit leaning towards like being a hater, because
Mhm.
I don't like these new promos that they're doing with like the lights, camera, action. I'm like, this is what's wrong with the current state of Housewives, is that they feel more like actors now than like real people. We're seeing a lot of that on Roni
Yeah.
this week. People weren't happy about that. A lot of like orchestrated fights on Salt Lake City, in my opinion. And so I'm like, okay, I get it. They're successful, they're rich, they're famous. It looks like a movie production, right? But I'm like, this would not have happened. I'm also in the middle of a Beverly Hills rewatch. I'm on season 2. So I'm just, the comparison is fresh in my mind. So I'm like, this would never fly, in earlier seasons of The Housewives. But when we actually dug into the trailer, I could not believe what I was seeing. I mean, Dorit also, I always have to like kick myself, because I'll start a season being like, I stand Dorit, and then she says the stupidest things. And I'm like, oh God, I put that out into the internet. People are going to cancel me. Why did I do that? But I feel like maybe she'll have a redemption season in the fact that she's bringing more, to camera. That's kind of been people's critique of her, other than saying like the most ridiculous things, is that she doesn't really show anything of her life. But her and Kyle, when you think, they're both going through separations, potential divorces, maybe they've been best friends for a really long time, that would bring them together. The fact that it's having the opposite reaction, I think, is going to be really interesting to watch.
What do
No.
you think it
Mhm.
is, like both of you guys? What did you think when Kyle was saying, well, someone said that PK was texting Kyle. Do you think that it's in like a scandalous way, or was PK texting Kyle in a way of like he was complaining about Dorit?
I think probably complaining about Dorit.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with the same thing because I just don't feel like he would be bold enough to send her something like inappropriate or weird, especially knowing that they're filming.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that
And
would just be
especially the
awkward.
rumors out there already about Mauricio and Dorit. So
Morgan, how do you feel about those rumors? Do you believe them? Do you think they're true?
I don't believe them. It would be wild if they were true. I
Hmm.
think that both Dorit and Mauricio are like flirty by nature, but I don't necessarily think when it comes to each other, I don't think they mean any harm by it.
yeah,
Hmm.
I totally agree with you guys. It has to
Aaron's
be.
like, I don't
Yeah.
know.
I don't
I'm like
know.
thinking about it, but it's just like I don't know, because I is there, where there's smoke, there's fire, because
Yeah.
a lot of stuff has been going on, and like a lot of things have like not added up, and I'm just like, I would hope that this is not the truth, but then I'm seeing them like bicker back and forth, and the truth is finally coming out that like you guys never really liked each other. You guys were just like on the same side of just kind of blowing smoke up each other's ass. So
Do you,
I don't know.
do you feel
Good.
like maybe kind of like what Morgan said, like this is like one of those orchestrated fights where this is their season to fall out now?
I think that this is genuine, because it's like there's only too long, especially once you took Lisa Rinna out of the picture. It's only too long until the
Mm.
truth starts rearing its head. And we know that if they actually just wanted a storyline, both of them are possibly going through separations, divorces. So I don't think that they need to add any more drama. We could just continue to talk about, to Kyle's lesbian relationship, and we can continue to talk about, like PK and Dorit. But I don't think that they would have to add in that they're not like friends with each other. I think that they're genuinely like falling out.
Fair. Fair.
So while we're in the NBCU, are you watching the House of Villains?
You know what? I turned it on for like 5 minutes the other day, but I didn't keep it on. So not
Same.
It didn't
really.
keep your attention?
No, it's kind of disappointing because I feel like even with season one, it didn't really keep my attention. And I don't know what it is about it. To me, you have to like hook me fast. Otherwise, I have a
Mm-hmm.
million other things that I got to keep up with because I'm watching Love is Blind, Bachelor, all the Bravo shows. So you really have to catch my attention. So, I mean, I understand that you have to introduce contestants and things of that nature, but like the first 15 minutes, I was just bored. I'm like, I'm turning this off because I'm bored, and I haven't watched it since then.
I get what you mean though. I feel like it's one of those they try to get this all-star cast, which everybody's so great on the cast, but they put them together and they're like bringing out this person and then bringing out, and then they want to give you this wow factor, and it just doesn't feel genuine. Like you know how
Yeah.
when you're watching old seasons of Flavor of Love or like Charm School, and you're like, okay, this feels legit. Like this feels weird, real. I'm glad you guys are here.
Yeah.
But this kind of feels like, why are you guys all in this one room? Like, I get it's for a show, but it kind of feels strange.
I understand that. I think that since you guys need like that drama, I would encourage you to go like fast forward past the introductions and get to when they're claiming their rooms, because that's when the personalities come out. That's when you're going to see Teresa. That's when you're going to see New
Hmm.
York. That's when you're going to see, they even like take a minute and it's like Safari and like a couple other contestants. They go to Jax's bar and like there was this last season, Jackson, New York got into it, and Jax cried because New York basically called him the devil. And it's like a treat. It's more of one of those shows that you could just kind of put on in the background, and it's just like fun, you know? But okay, so speaking of like just the NBC universe and I still call her Nikki Bella, but she wants to be called Nikki Garcia. She changed back to her maiden name like a while ago because Nikki Bella was her stage name as a wrestler. I saw recently that Artem, if you guys don't already know, I covered this on Bravo I'm Black. You know that I am the Bella twins, Garcia twins now, Stan, that Artem actually scored a legal win and Nikki wanted full custody of their child. And Artem was able to, you know, get some custody. And I also saw that he wanted that old thing back. Like, how dare you try to spin the block when you guys have literally gotten to the point where you're calling the police on each other? What are your thoughts on this whole Nikki and Artem debauchery?
Well, I also saw that report that he wanted her back, but then very soon after, I saw another one saying that that report was false. So I
What
don't
to
know.
believe?
I know. I feel like both of their teams are being very strategic in what they're not leaking to the press, but you know, everybody of that magnitude has a PR person on speed dial. They want their narrative put out into the public. I feel like we saw that a lot with Joe Jonas and Sophie Turner in their
Yeah.
divorce, where we saw one side really want to get their narrative out there first, thinking that it would be beneficial for them, but it actually wasn't. It actually, you know, kind of painted them in more of a negative light. I feel like after everything that I've read about the situation between Nikki and Artem, I mean, first and foremost, I was just really shocked and sad because I too am a longtime Bella Twins stan. And I really was rooting for her happily ever after. You know, she was with John Cena for so long, wanted to get married, wanted to have kids, never works out with him. And then you see her go on Dancing with the Stars, fall in love with her dance partner, get married, have a baby. And it's like, oh my gosh, what a fairy tale, you know? But
Mm-hmm.
then to realize behind the scenes, it's like the complete opposite of a fairy tale was really just a hard pill to swallow. And even though I would say I'm more of a Nikki fan than I am an Artem fan, seeing him on Dancing with the Stars, I mean, you just never really know what's going on behind closed doors with people. I think that this is a sticky situation. Like I said earlier, I think there are two sides to the story. They're pretty different too, right? When you're like
Yeah.
thumbing through and reading everything. And that makes it really hard to give like a public opinion and really put your foot down in one direction or the other because because everything contradicts itself. I think at the end of the day, we can all agree that after this incident, they don't need to be together anymore, and leave it up to the court system, because literally the way that news articles were coming out so fast about it with such conflicting information, I was like, I had no idea what to believe.
Exactly. And I was wondering also, just like watching Dancing with the Stars and like seeing everyone's comment on it. I know that they said that he is staying with a friend. I'm wondering, like, are you staying with Val? Are you staying with Gleb? And you know how Gleb is, he is dating anyone who comes on the dance floor. So I had like my conspiracy theory that he had to be staying with one of the Dancing with the Stars pros. How shocked were you that like there was something of that magnitude going on between them? Because Artem, he just was always kind of like a quiet guy. But when I was talking with my mom was like, he seemed like when they would argue, he kind of would like go in another room, and he seemed like the silent but deadly type. But I just thought that he was just sweet Russian dancer. Yeah. And I do know that when men lose their jobs and they're upset about it, and especially when the woman makes more money than them, it can, become a sticky situation because his ego is hurt. She's making more money. She also has this podcast. She's more popular. So were you shocked that like Artem could take it there? Or did you see that there might have been something not necessarily domestic, but there might have been some kind of squabbles behind the scenes between them? Like, did you think that they were happy? Or
I thought they were happy. I mean, they posted very lovey-dovey tributes to each other, 2 days before he was arrested. They were celebrating their 2-year wedding anniversary. So we really did not get to see that. And I know that some people, were they ever on like a reality show together, Nikki and Artem?
Yeah, so they had the Bella twins, like that Total Bellas. And then they came back, like Total Bellas, they stopped it. And then they even came back for them to get married, because it was like the whole pandemic thing. And then, Russia and Ukraine was doing that whole thing. So that was conflicting events. And he really, really wanted to take his son to meet his parents. And they actually did end up doing that. And that's where I kind of saw some of his silent anger. But they had the show together, and they seemed like they were in love.
Yeah, I feel like I had some people DM me saying that they're, again, not signs of something as extreme as TV, but just communication issues like in the show. And then, not to put this stereotype over every male Dancing with the Stars pro, but I mean, you do have to have a certain level of like strictness. I even remember Hannah Brown talking about being partnered with Alan and saying, sometimes just the way that they communicate, because, ballroom dancing is really strict, and like the practices back in the day maybe wouldn't fly in today's day and age. So I think those could potentially be contributing factors, but it's hard to tell for sure.
It definitely is. And I just hope that, obviously they figure out the whole court system thing. And also, to be fair, I was reading the reports, and it said that, Nikki apparently threw one of the baby's shoes, and she kind of like ran after them. And there was like a whole thing that went down. It wasn't like just him. Whatever the case may be, they need to stay away from each other for the point, for the goodness of their family and like their own safety, and hopefully just let everything work out in the court system and be co-parents to this child. I just feel very bad for Nikki, because it's just seeing, like you said, seeing her go from John Cena to Artem and then finally falling in love. She got that fairy tale. But what I do want to see out of this is her to come back and then to do Total Bellas again.
I was just going to ask you that. Like, would you like to see them return on TV?
The podcast is literally not enough. They stopped doing the TV show to do the podcast because they both had, Brie already had, a kid, but they got pregnant at the same time, had kids a day apart. And, that's kind of like where we ended up on the show until we got to the Nikki Bella wedding special. But now, especially that she's a single parent, and I don't know if that's what I want to ask you, Morgan. Do you think that Dancing with the Stars is going to allow Artem to come back considering, he has like this long history with the show. And also it's saying that, Nikki was like a participant in it too.
Not next season, I don't
Yeah.
think. I think, time does things to people. This type of stuff isn't at the top of somebody's mind 5 years down the road. Whether or not that's right or wrong, it is what it is. Also to see, how it plays out. We know that the DA dropped the charges against Artem. So
Mhm.
I think they just kind of have to let it play out, let the divorce play out, and then see moving forward. But I honestly don't really like I'm not sitting here missing Artem on Dancing with the Stars. There are tons of pros that I feel a personal connection to or root for. Honestly, and like no shade, but Artem was just never my favorite pro anyway. So I think you just have to weigh the options. And especially now that they're starting to bring younger pros into the mix with Ezra and Riley, I think that that's kind of the direction that they're moving. And if I had to guess, I would say he probably wouldn't be back.
Yeah, me either. Well, thank you so much for coming to talk with us about pop, because we love our pop culture and we have been meaning to cross over with you for a while. So is there
Decades.
anything decades? Is there anything that you're working on, anything coming up that you would like the people to know about?
Weekly episode drops every Thursday. Morgan's Pop Talks. You can listen on Apple, Spotify, YouTube. I do all pop culture, so reality TV shows, Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift, Brianna Chicken Fry, Zach Bryan, even though I really didn't know who either of those two people were until this week. But yeah, those episodes drop every Thursday, and then daily updates on my Instagram and TikTok, which is at Morgan P Talks. Thank you guys for having me. I loved it, and we'll have to have you on MPT soon.
Yes, we can't wait.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Morgan.